SCP-004. Item number SCP-004. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. When handling items SCP-004-2 through SCP-004-13, proper procedure is vital. The items are not permitted to be moved off-site unless accompanied by Level 4 security personnel. Under no circumstances should any other component of SCP-004 be taken through SCP-004-1. The effects of doing so are as yet unknown, and the cost of experimentation makes further research impractical. Should any of the objects contained within SCP-004-1 breach containment, or this facility be breached, the keys must be brought inside the closed door prior to activation of Site-62's on-site warhead. Unauthorized removal of keys from the testing area grounds for immediate termination. Level 1 clearance is required for basic access to SCP-004-1. Level 4 clearance is required for use of SCP-004-2-3. Description: SCP-004 consists of an old wooden barn door, SCP-004-1, and a set of 12 rusted steel keys, SCP-004-2 through SCP-004-13. The door itself is an entrance to an abandoned factory in Chronological history: 07-02 1949. A group of 3 juveniles trespassing on federal property near find the door according to their testimony. They found a set of rusted steel keys and an iron lockbox. Determine what the keys must unlock. The juveniles are taken into custody after they contact Sheriff Blank when one of the friends, SCP-004 CAS-01, goes missing. 07-03 1949. Local authorities find the severed right hand of SCP-004 CAS-01 8 kilometers from SCP-004-1. Other parts of SCP-004 CAS-01's body are found scattered as far as 32 kilometers from the factory. Under interrogation, the apprehended juveniles tell authorities that upon opening the door with one of the keys, SCP-004 CAS-1 was torn into several pieces, each of which disappeared. At this point, the SCP Foundation takes over the investigation. 07-04 1949. SCP Agent Blank obtains the keys from the local authorities to begin testing. Tests show that SCP-004-2 through SCP-004-13 all fit into the single lock of the barred door. S-12 Class D personnel are assigned to test the effects of the door. Of the 12 test subjects trying to open a different key to enter the room, only 2 survive opening the door with any key except SCP-004-7 or SCP-004-12 caused the test subjects to be torn apart in multiple directions. However, no dismembered parts were found until later. At some time of writing, only 2 parts of each subject were recovered, with the exception of subject using SCP-004-blank, whose pieces were scattered in close proximity. The others have, for all intents and purposes, vanished from existence. Of the 2 surviving subjects, only one, having used SCP-004-7, returned unharmed. The other one came back in a near catatonic state, only able to remove himself from the room and then collapse on the floor, and then had to be restrained to prevent him from gouging out his own eyes. See Appendix A, Mental Health Effects of SCP-004. The subject using SCP-004-7 said that he had entered a large room and possibly big for the size of the attached building. After his exit, SCP-004-1 was propped open, and had an armed squad of level 3 personnel entered. The size of the room was impossible to measure, and the door frame the individuals of the room are the only part of the room that felt or illuminated. 07 16 1949. The juvenile subjects and Sheriff Blank are terminated. 08 02 1949. Blank is declared hazardous area due to unexploited ordnance and fences erected in order to prevent civilian ingress. Tests to determine safety or of exposure to environment behind SCP-004-1 begin. 12/01/1950. Spacetime anomalies resulting from exposure to SCP-004 are confirmed. Testing is suspended until further notice. 07 02 19 blank. The unaccounted for remains of SCP-004 Cas-1 appear unexpectedly outside SCP-004-1. Despite being killed decades before, the remains of SCP-004 Cas-1 are not decomposed in any manner or warm to the touch. Blood remains uncoagulated. The remains are remanded for testing. 07/04/19 blank. Unaccounted for remains of one of the 12 original test subjects appear in a similar manner to those to SCP-004 Cas-1. The remains have been designed. SCP-004 Cas-2 records suggest that both SCP-004 Cas-1 and Cas-2 are SCP-004-blank. 03/21/1999. With massive proliferation of nuclear weapons in World War III only blank years away, Constitution has begun on a site inside SCP-004-1. The site is to stock supplies for blank person days. 04/21/1999. Blank has ordered the site inside SCP-004-1 to be expanded to include emergency storage for all SCP blank specimens and a blank petabyte database of storage for all SCP data. The facility is now referred to as Site 62. 09/25/2000. Site 62 is operational. Labs and containment units are complete and can contain the most dangerous specimens. Backup of the SCP database has begun. 01/25/2001. Due to time anomalies, see space-time anomalies below. All personnel working at Site 62 are now required to reside on-site permanently. Families of personnel are to be informed that loved ones are perished in an industrial accident. Cloned bodies have been prepared for funeral. 08/14/2003. Massive power outage across northwest United States and through Canada due to initial failure of multiple SCP generators. Site 62 was without power for 53 minutes. During those 53 minutes, these were the site completely without any source of light. They reported sensing creatures and people, although no abnormal entities could be seen or felt. Selected faculty personnel were allowed to read blank Appendix A, and these creatures sensed were of humanoid size, but otherwise similar to a massive green creature described. Spacetime anomalies. SCP-004 seems to propagate spectrochemical anomalies. Personnel leaving the facility report losing time. Those who have been on the site for weeks insist they have only been on the facility for several days. The records of work completed and supplies consumed support their claims. Other temporal anomalies involve SCP-004-2 through -13, especially the reappearance of SCP-004 Cas-1 and SCP-004 Cas-2. Exactly blank years after using SCP-004-blank, blank has been assigned to investigate all aspects of these time anomalies. Spatial anomalies include the impossibly large dimensions of area opened by SCP-004-2. Similarly, the 2003 blackout incident suggests that there exists on a plane of existence within the same space that Site-62 occupies. Additional notes. Testing on SCP-004 reveals that 10 of the keys open SCP-004-1 on a dimension where the laws of physics and topology significantly different than those of our home dimension. Test subjects meeting these hostile conditions are torn apart, their body parts disposed in various locations, only 3 of which have been verified to be on Earth. Material deposited at only 2 points appears immediately. Material deposited at the third appears exactly blank years into the future. The other 7 locations are currently unknown. Current testing focuses on 2 avenues of research. The first finding its way to survive SCP-004's hostile topologies. The second, data expunged, suggests that SCP-004-2 through -13 may open other doors than SCP-004-1. Appendix A. Mental health effects of SCP-004-12. All Class D personnel using SCP-004-12 return in catatonic state, unable to speak. Some may have enough energy left to try to claw out their eyes. Of the 12 subjects, only 4 have survived. Only 1 has regained speech following long-term psychotherapy. He was able to tell the psychiatrist that he saw massive green creatures so large that his body extended beyond his field of view. His report naming fear and sudden recognition, as if it was something buried deep in his primal fears, and forced implication of incomprehensible memories. Subject displays acute interrogate and retrograde amnesia. Appendix B. Additional information. Item SCP-004-14. Date of discovery 09/02/1950. Origin of object. Object was discovered elsewhere in factory area, in the previously undiscovered manager's office. Description. Object often appears as a large, unvarnished wooden box. The box may be unlocked by the safe key, SCP-004-7, as well as 5 of the unsafe keys. See document SCP-004-1. Upon unlocking SCP-004-14 with SCP-004-7, the box opens automatically on hinges. Then the volume of space inside is precisely 5 times greater than the other outer dimensions imply. Items placed within the box while the lid remains open do not affect the weight or any other properties of the box. When it is closed, however, all items instead vanish imperturbably. Personnel locked inside the box are also irretrievable. Although losing personnel in this faction appears to be significantly the dreams experienced by data expunged.